Like we're starting to see the continuation of the water itself being a metaphor for his social interaction.
Yeah. A repetition of a word like chapter to chapter to chapter, that is also postmodern. Okay, it's like not just repetition right in a line, it's covering all that. Brian?
I feel that he's just confusing as a conflict with honestly, that whether it's trying to find himself or just trying to find the truth, that's what he's asking these questions about, that's what he's trying to find, but he actually doesn't really know all the answers because he can't really know answers.
Okay, good. And it's a series of questions because when he asks one, it triggers another and another, right? So he's got fragments, teenager and uncle, husband and lover, a lost father, and he has just question after question, but it doesn't feel frantic. It feels like this is when he's just wondering and he wants to gather information. At the end of the book, I think it does feel frantic. Almadine?
So going back to DJ's comment on the swirling, would that be an example of the anesthetic imagery?
Anti-aesthetic. Yeah, anti-aesthetic. Yeah.
Shut up, Josh.
I feel like someone was writing kind of anesthetic too. Okay, frankly, I took a couple naps.
That is different than the patient etherized. Gotta get your terms right.
The effect is about the same.
Yeah. Okay, what else? Okay, Will?
So to go back to the dashes and ellipses, is it to show a breakage between consciousness, correct?
Yeah, this one, so he says, no one speaks without exchange of gift and character. The way a person took on and recognized in himself the smile of a lover, that feels more like editorializing to me, like he's adding on. This is a pause, like he's slowing down time. All he wants is to sit and have conversations with history, and that can't happen because the world keeps moving, right? And everything keeps changing. So he's trying to slow it down physically, structurally, and it doesn't work. Okay? That's the end of the passage, and it's the same thing he does other places.
Like on the when you go ahead and you go with your interpretation of it, is it help or hurt you to acknowledge other interpretation?
Help.
Helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if I was this seems frustrating to me, but most people don't.
Personally, I read it this way, but I see how others might see this
Yes.
emotion in it. For me, it doesn't speak to me.
Yeah.
And so then you would
Absolutely.
be able
Yeah,
to
and
elaborate on theirs too.
Yeah, and it's going to be the same thing with the parts in Eliot. If you're not a religious person, the religious parts do not, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't resonate.
Yeah. So you work off of your personal response, and then you allow for other ones. That gets you considered critical personal response, and it also gives you knowledge of the context, like how might we all see it. It's all that. How do we feel about this one? This one I don't think is a hard one.
Just one, maybe I'm over-reading here, that fourth line now it says, after the cups of tea, coffee, public conversation. No. Tea is a British drink. They're the ones that are drinking tea there. Coffee is the one that's drank by the Dutch descendants as well as the locals.
Yeah.
So, again, it's this notion of duality of, I've got to sit with family members who prefer both because I'm from both sides of the tracks.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's replacing it's history being replaced with one colonizer at a time. And he wants to talk to history.
How would you say that?
Are there any major structural clues?
The structure is the stream of consciousness, the ellipses, the dash, anything like that counts as structure. And I think I've said before, but repetition and punctuation, depending on what your passage is, might be structure or might be style. It really just kind of depends. The structure is more if it's visible on the page, what is it doing? So dashes and ellipses are more obvious than say an exclamation point. Okay. That make sense? All right, that was about 17 minutes. So,
We get
63.
We get 13
Chris?
pages.
Your structure, if it's a generally normal structure, can we say that it's not fast as other structures?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so 5 minutes on this. We went back.